to the end of the day and just feel like a pinball? You're just reacting to notifications, to emails, to other people's demands. We hear all the time about productivity hacks and optimizing everything, but today we're going to talk about something different. We're talking about building a life of actual intention, using a schedule not to do more, but to find more peace. Seriously, just let that question sit with you for a second, because it really changes everything. This is not about some crazy, rigid set of rules that's designed to squeeze every last drop of work out of you. No, this is about creating a structure that actively, shields your mental and your emotional well-being. Okay, that column on the left, does that look familiar? The chaos, the anxiety, your phone just pulling you in 100 different directions at once. That's what we call a reactive life. Now, the life on the right isn't about being busier. Not at all. It's about being proactive. It's about being intentional and consciously choosing where your precious energy actually goes. So, how do we get there? Well, it's not just about writing a better to-do list. There's some really powerful behavioral science happening behind the scenes here that explains why a structured schedule can feel so transformative. Okay, think about your ability to make good choices like it's your phone battery. Every single little decision, what am I going to eat for lunch? Should I answer this email right now or later? It drains that battery bit by bit. By the end of the day, you're running on like 1%. A routine just automates a ton of those small decisions, which saves all that mental energy for the stuff that truly matters. So this 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. rule, this is probably one of the most powerful things in the entire system. And it's not some random rule. It's literally about your brain chemistry. See, when you're constantly scrolling, you're getting these little hits of dopamine, this reward chemical that just makes you want another hit. This simple boundary just breaks that cycle. It lets your brain reset, which helps you focus so much better during the day, naturally. And here's the hard truth, right? Motivation is a feeling, and feelings, well, they come and go. You can't really build a life on an unreliable feeling. This system, though, it's built on something way more solid: consistency. It's that quiet, daily practice of just showing up for yourself that creates real, actual change, not waiting around for some magic burst of inspiration to strike. Okay, now before your mind starts screaming, whoa, this sounds super restrictive, I want to be really clear about the philosophy here. This is not another one of those punishing routines that's just designed to make you feel bad about yourself. The whole point of this is self-support. That's it. It's about creating a structure that can actually hold you up when you feel overwhelmed, not one that's there to criticize you when you fall off track. Just think of it as a way of being kind to your future self. This is the big idea. This is the metaphor you gotta hold on to. A cage, it traps you, it limits you. But a container creates safety. It holds things together. And this schedule is designed to hold space for everything: your rest, your focus, your relationships, your peace. And let's be real, you are going to miss a day. Life happens. But the goal was never perfection. The real practice, the real skill, is in the gentle act of just beginning again the next day. No judgment. That's it. That's where real resilience comes from. All right, so let's get practical. How does this actually work? Well, we can break this whole framework down into 3 really simple, interconnected systems that all work together to support you. So let's start with the foundation, which is the body system. Getting a little bit of sun during a morning workout, that literally tells your brain, hey, it's time to be awake and alert. It sets your energy for the whole day. Staying hydrated, that's absolutely crucial for focus. These aren't just random tasks. They're the physical bedrock for your mental clarity. Okay, next up, we build on that with the mind system. Daily meditation, it's not about stopping your thoughts. That's impossible. It's about noticing them without getting carried away. A monthly declutter day isn't just for your closet, it's for your head. And a real, honest-to-goodness, work-free weekend, that's essential maintenance. It stops burnout in its tracks and actually lets your mind recover. And finally, let's talk about the system we all tend to forget about: the emotion system. Scheduling a deep conversation isn't weird or awkward. It's basically preventative care for your most important relationships. A date night isn't some obligation, it's active nurturing. And a guilt-free, lazy night with no phones, that literally reprograms your brain to accept that it is okay to just be, without that constant pressure to be doing something. And this right here, this is the whole thing. This is the core concept. You can't just hustle your way through a week with no sleep and expect to be emotionally stable. It's not going to happen. You can't ignore your relationships and then expect to feel mentally clear. These systems are totally intertwined. Real, true well-being only happens when you're taking care of all three. All right, let's zoom out a bit and look at the weekly and monthly practices. I want you to think of these not as chores, but as your system's scheduled reset button. The whole idea is to be proactive, not reactive. I mean, this is how most of us live, right? We just run on fumes until we completely crash and burn, and then we finally decide to take a day off or have that tough conversation we've been putting off. This whole framework is designed to stop those crashes from even happening in the first place. This is such a great way to think about it. We totally get the logic of preventative maintenance for our tech, for our cars, but we almost never apply it to ourselves. These scheduled resets, they're the human equivalent of restarting your phone before it gets all slow and buggy. So that weekly mental health session, it's not necessarily therapy. It's more like emotional housekeeping, just preventing stuff from piling up. The monthly wellness day is pure system care. Get a massage, a haircut, whatever it is that recharges you. And that declutter day, it clears out both the physical and the mental noise. Each one has a specific preventative job to do. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but I know it can also feel like, whoa, that's a lot. So the big question is, how do you actually start this in a way that's going to stick, instead of just giving up after a couple of days? Here's your gentle guide. First, to not try to do everything all at once. Just pick 2 habits, 2 things that feel doable. Maybe it's the no social media after 9 p.m. rule and drinking more water. And notice that second step. Protecting your nights is almost always more powerful than forcing some crazy 5 a.m. morning routine. Good sleep is a superpower. And finally, put your rest in your calendar. Treat it with the same importance as a meeting with your boss. When it comes down to it, what's the real why behind all this? It's not about turning into some productivity robot. It's about the message you send to yourself every single time you follow through on one of these small promises. That message is, I am worthy of this care. My well-being actually matters. And that feeling right there is the true foundation of self-respect. So just remember this. The magic isn't in having one single perfect day. It's in the cumulative effect of all these small, consistent, intentional actions day after day. It's about slowly and with a lot of grace building the architecture of your very own peace.